now I really want to take you to the reality of this working relationship between R3 and Ripple.
Ripple is going to develop their payment mechanism, and Corda is going to create their remittance mechanism. If that happens, they will need to compete against one another. Instead of competing, if they partner together, they will be able to win. But unfortunately, it's not happening yet.
I do take some of this dissemination of information out there quite serious. I don't like the misinformation, even if it does make XRP look like everyone in the world is going to use it. I think that it damages the project in the long run because it sets up people for unreal expectations.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and the intro that you just heard was from a video that I did back in 2020. I have done 45 videos on R3 over the course of 5 years. And, well, I have to tell you, the reason for this video is because a couple years ago, the Italian banks, nearly 90% of them were using Corda. It was a project called Spunta. And there were many comments that were left in my video that they had heard on YouTube that it was going to use XRP, only because the word Corda was mentioned. I covered just a bit of the project Dunbar yesterday. It is using Corda, and I received a lot of comments again about how it was going to use XRP. In fact, one comment was even, "Don't I know that Corda uses XRP to settle?" I think there's a lot of confusion. There is the company R3, and they have many technologies: Corda, Corda Settler, Conclave, etc. And there's also a huge backstory that if you haven't been in this space for very long, and I'm talking about more than 2, 3, 4 years, you probably don't know. But there is a lot that goes on between Ripple and R3, which builds Corda. You've got really to know about SBI. You need to know about the lawsuit between Ripple and R3. You need to know that under the R3 umbrella, Corda Settler was built by Mr. Kitao of SBI. He was the initiator and gave directive to have that built. It is for anyone to use, and if you don't have the 7 or 8 minutes of patience to watch the rest of this video, well, then I guess all I can say is please do your own research. There are documents that you can see in the Corda documents library that will show you all their technologies, or you can go to GitHub to see the Corda Settler, which is open source, which hasn't had updates or work done on it for a very long time, and that XRP was used on a test net of Corda Settler to demo the functionality. And the reason why I know this is because, as I'll explain, I was in Tokyo at an R3 event in 2019 where they had a little kind of coming out party for Corda Settler. I have a little bit of a video for you in this video from that evening, from the Q&A. And Corda Settler is asset agnostic, meaning that you can put any asset on it, and you can also issue assets on it. And there have been lots of people, including banks, who have used it and not used XRP. So the reason for this video, I guess, is twofold. I want to be really clear that I think having the correct information out there is important. And also, I don't want to see more comments that just because Corda is mentioned, that there is an assumption that XRP will also be used. But I think you're going to find this video interesting if you don't know the backstory. Thank you. The following is a mix of clips from videos that I've done over the years on R3, trying to give you the backstory. So do enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to June 26, 2018. This is Mr. Kitao. This was when he was at the blockchain conference in Tokyo. I went to it. He was the keynote. And this is, wow, I didn't record it because I really didn't realize how important it was when he was talking about the earnest effort that he was giving to getting R3 and Ripple to come to an agreement with their lawsuit. And basically, he encouraged them to both come to his office and shake hands. So in September 2017, R3 sued Ripple based on a dispute in options to buy 5 billion XRP at 0.0085 cents up until 2019, September. Ripple terminated that agreement in June on the 12th, 2017, bringing that lawsuit on, which then had Ripple countersue, and the ugly battle began. Finally, on September 10th, 2018, so what was it, June, July, August, September, 3 months after Mr. Kitao was on stage, the settlement was reached. On the 29th of January, SBI formed SBI R3 Japan. It was a joint venture, and the purpose is to support and introduce Corda under a licensing agreement so that SBI could then be the sales arm to expand into Eastern Asia. SBI would take this 60% and R3 would take 40% of the joint venture. And on the 5th of December 2018, this is when the announcement that he had built, and he meaning Mr. Kitao, built Corda Settler, or he pushed the R3 group to build Corda Settler, and then XRP was used to showcase that technology. In April 2019, I want you to listen to R3 speak in Tokyo. This was in a Q&A. This is my video. I was sitting in that position right there that you see the angle from. And this young man in the audience asked, why did you choose XRP?
It was mainly for me, at least, it was just to prove the concept.
So there it is. It was just to prove a concept. This is from the Corda website when they announced Settler. And they made their SDK kit, their software development kit, and this allows the businesses to roll out tokens on its Corda Settler to settle native tokens of any issuance into fiat through those traditional rails, reducing the time, cost, and counterparty risk. And on the heels of this announcement, 4 other use cases were given that are using Corda Settler and digital assets, not XRP. Here are the 4. And just taking a look at 2 of them, but before going to that, I'm actually on the SDK kit, on this software developers kit. Corda Settler can settle instantly an application that enables atomic delivery versus payment. And the digital assets, or the cash token, that can trade and be made to improve the reconciliation process. Now, one of those 4 projects is using their native token that was collateralized. This is a token called IVNO. There are lots of banks and organizations involved, 28 total. US Bank, DBS, and National Bank of Canada. Those are just 3 out of the 28 that are involved. Another project that is using the Settler
is the HQLAX. It's employing tokens with legal underpinning to support their gold and trading platform.
And finally, the last two clips are from a video that I did with the investor relations presentation that was given by Mr. Kitao in Tokyo for the purpose of explaining the complicated relationship, if you will, between R3 and Ripple, and then as he was trying to facilitate the two of them to work together. Have a listen.
The backbone technology behind money tap is from Ripple. So, by connecting that with R3's Corda, this is something I have continued to say that we should do. First, we had a fight and there was a litigation, and then we settled the matter, and then when both come together and become integrated, it can become a global standard, and it could nurture the biggest market in the financial industry. So we are the leading shareholder in each entity. And this is my one of my greatest wishes. So indirectly, we are currently working on this. I wouldn't say both companies are fighting still, but still, the relationship is somewhat challenging. Ripple is going to develop their payment mechanism, and Corda is going to create their remittance mechanism. If that happens, they will need to compete against one another. Instead of competing, if they partner together, they will be able to win. But unfortunately, it's not happening yet. At some point in time, I could be the middleman, and hopefully we'll be able to bring both parties together.
So that really gives you, I think, a very candid and honest insider view on what is happening with the use of XRP in regards to Settler, and also to look at the challenges that exist still for the company Ripple and R3 to work together. I just, the hype behind anything R3 and that it involves XRP is just that, hype. And it starts to bother me when I hear so much of it. So that's why I wanted to deliver this particular video, which is quite direct and to the point for the Patreons. I'm going to maybe make it a little more less serious for the masses out there, because okay, so you really get to see the real side of me in these Patreon videos, because I do take some of this dissemination of information out there quite serious. I don't like the misinformation, even if it does make XRP look like everyone in the world is going to use it. I think that it damages the project in the long run, because it sets up people for unreal expectations.